This remains on the big story. Actor Salman Khan sentenced to 5 years in jail by a Mumbai Sessions Court today. Within hours, Salman's battery of lawyers approaching the Bombay High Court to ensure that the actor doesn't spend at least 2 nights in jail till Friday. The High Court agreeing to the contention by top defense lawyer Harish Salve that Salman needs 2 days to study the entire judgment. The actor engaging the senior counsel within moments to seal this 2-day relief. Salman's legal team now has 2 days to seek quashing of the sentence and get regular bail in the High Court. Salman Khan, who was released on a bond of 20,000 rupees, caused severe traffic jams as he drove home. Those are the images that suggest how this has become a bit of a media circus. The dazed actor finally reaching home after an 8-hour-long stay in court amidst emotional but chaotic scenes. I want to start today with what happened in the court, where Salman Khan was found guilty of all charges, including culpable homicide, not amounting to murder. The sentence, 5 years. That's our big story.
It was Judgment Day. After a 13-year-long trial, the verdict was to be pronounced in the 2002 hit-and-run case. 9:46 a.m. With tension palpable, Salman Khan emerged from his Galaxy Apartments home in the morning. Dressed in white, he had his trademark sunglasses on, his white Mercedes SUV, and the media waiting. As his relatives and friends showed up in his support, the actor hugged his parents and left for court. "10:29 a.m. Salman reached the Bombay Sessions Court with his father Salim Khan, his brothers Arbaz, Sohail and his sisters. With his fate hanging in balance, the actor waited outside till he was called in. 10:43 a.m. Salman Khan entered a packed courtroom with his lawyer and brothers as his sisters waited outside. 11:10 a.m. And within the next 20 minutes, Judge D.W. Deshpande pronounced Salman Khan guilty. He told the actor that all charges against him had been proven and that it was him who was driving drunk on the night of 28 September 2002. As his lawyers argued for the actor to be treated leniently, a stunned Salman stood in the witness box, wiping sweat off his face. His defense argued that the actor is suffering from a heart condition, but Salman stopped his lawyer from going into the details of his health condition. The judge then asked the actor if he wanted to say something, but the actor stood silent. 1:26 p.m. The court sentenced Salman Khan to 5 years in jail.
ये आरोपी दोषी पाए गए हैं और न्यायालय ने उन्हें 304 पार्ट 2 के तहत 5 साल की सश्रम कारावास की सजा दी है उनको.
4:50 p.m. Salman's lawyers approached the High Court for bail. Top lawyer Harish Salve argued that the actor could not be put in jail without the full order. Close to 5 p.m., the Bombay High Court granted Salman Khan interim bail till the 8th of May.
While leaving for court in the morning, Salman Khan kissed his mother's forehead and assured her that he will be back home by dinner. Well, he would be able to live up to this commitment, though only for 2 days, as the Bombay High Court has provided the movie star relief till May 8th. In Mumbai, with Vidya, Ankit Tyagi for Headlines Today.
Okay, Salman Khan, as Ankit was pointing out, has reached home. He's there at Galaxy Apartments in Bandra. I want to go to Roshni Agarwal first. She is outside Salman's residence. To just get a sense, Roshni, it's been chaotic through the day. We've seen crowds thronging. It's become a bit of a circus there. But are people still streaming in? Are people still streaming in? Is this becoming a soap opera where everyone wants to have a glimpse of Salman behind you?
Well, it was a crazy scene when Salman Khan had just arrived at his house. There were a lot of celebrities inside his house. like Sonakshi Sinha, Sunil Shetty, Mika Singh, and a lot of more people from the industry who had come to visit him. Even now there is a lot of crowd to see the glimpse, to get one glimpse of the actor. But yes, right now it's much under control as compared to evening, and the actor usually comes out on his balcony to wave out to the fans, but today that hasn't been the case, probably because since it's just 2-day release, the actor is not in the right frame of mind to come out and wave to his fans. But yes, the fans are still around just to catch a glimpse of the star.
Okay, we'll wait and see if Salman comes to cheer, to wave to his fans. Remember, at the end of the day, he's got bail, but he's also got a sentence of 5 years. So we'll see how that plays out. Roshni Agarwal joining us there from outside Salman Khan's house. Now, as promised, we're going to look at every angle, and I'm going to start with the legal angle. The legal angle is very simple. Is this judgment a deterrent or is it excessive? Before I go to that, I just want to put some of Salman's possible legal mistakes before you. One, for the first time in a 13-year trial, producing a driver who claimed responsibility. That was seen as one of Salman Khan's mistakes. First mistake, we believe, producing a driver who claimed responsibility. Suddenly Ashok Singh appears. Mistake number one that Salman Khan possibly made. Mistake number two, claiming the victim died after a police crane lifting Salman's car fell on him. Clearly, this was seen as an outright lie. Number three, consistent outright denial of charges of alcohol consumption and driving himself. This is what Salman Khan has been saying. Was that a mistake? I'm going to put these to our lawyers because I've joined with a crack legal panel. Siddharth Luthra, former Additional Solicitor General, joining me. Bishwajit Bhattacharya with me. He's also a former ASG. And I am joined by Majid Memon, who is a top criminal lawyer of this country. Appreciate all of you joining us. I just want to get all of you on this. Siddharth Luthra, you appeared in fact in the Sanjeev Nanda case. And I am now going to put up what has happened in all these top cases. In the Sanjeev Nanda case, 2 years is what Sanjeev Nanda has got. This after the Supreme Court intervened. So the Supreme Court intervenes in the Sanjeev Nanda case and Sanjeev Nanda gets 2 years. That's one precedent that has been set. There's also the case of Alistair Pereira. Alistair Pereira was also in a hit and run case. He gets 3 years. So Alistair Pereira, 3 years. 7 people died in the Alistair Pereira case. 2 years in the Sanjeev Nanda case. Do you believe that the punishment, Siddharth Luthra, is excessive for Salman Khan, or has he made the mistakes for which he has paid a price today?
Let me just clarify on Sanjeev Nanda's case. He got 5 years from the trial court. It was a 304, that's culpable homicide conviction, converted to rash and negligent driving by the High Court, and again the culpable homicide conviction was retained by the High Court, by the Supreme Court, but the Supreme Court said let the 2-year sentence which he'd undergone by then remain with further community service, and that was the position. Now, in a case of 304 Part 2, which is the culpable homicide category which is applicable here, the sentence can go up to 10 years, but there have been cases where there has been 2 years, 3 years, and not just these three famous cases which you're talking about, or highlighted cases, but there have been other cases in the past. There have been even instances where probation may have been given and is balanced out by, let us say, compensation or fine, but there is a variation because it's up to 10 years. And each court has to see the circumstances of the offender and the circumstances of the
that extent,
the deceased and the victims.
To that extent, Siddharth, did Salman Khan make the mistake that suddenly his driver appears 10 years after the case, the investigation begins, and says, I was driving the car and not Salman? Was that a mistake? Was that a factor, possibly? Or was it a factor that he had another case involving poaching?
I must tell you, so far as this case is concerned, the witness was obviously produced in the defense, and that can only happen when the witness appears after the prosecution witnesses are all over and after the accused gives a statement, and that's the only point of time when a defense of an alibi or otherwise can be introduced. That's the only time such a witness can be brought in if the police have chosen not to examine or not to produce him. So to that extent, the timing may have seemed odd to a lay person, but legally I think that was the only possible time he could have been produced. That's one answer. The second issue is, I've not had occasion to see the judgment, it's not in the public domain yet, but as and when it comes out, we'll determine whether the so-called defense has at all impacted the judgment or the trial court has gone on the evidence that's available. That's something which we'll see in a little while when we see the judgment.
I want to know from you, do you believe it's excessive, Majid Memon? Do you believe 5 years is excessive, or let's be very clear in this case, given Salman's track
Rajdeep,
record, he's had a case of criminality involving the poaching of a black buck. Can Salman claim today that this is excessive? Are these all factors that have to be considered? The fact that he ran away from the scene of crime in this hit and run case, the fact that he is accused of trying, or his lawyers are accused of trying to obstruct justice, trying to mislead the court by bringing in false witnesses or influencing witnesses?
Now, Rajdeep,
Yes.
none of us have the benefit of reading the reasoning recorded by the learned judge in his detailed judgment as yet.
Yes.
But then, whatever conclusions he has drawn and what you say, I slightly disagree with my friend Mr. Luthra that, well, it is the defense evidence is led at the end, and therefore the plea of alibi that I was not driving, X was driving, could be taken only at that stage. I disagree with it for this reason, that if the case consistently is that I was not at the wheels, somebody else was at the wheels, then this case is required to be put to the first prosecution witness, officers and eyewitnesses and everybody. The accused counsel is expected in a criminal trial to put up his case at the first opportune time and suggest that, look here, I put it to you that I was not at the wheels and she so and so was at the wheels at that point of time, which probably was not done in this case. And it is only after long period of 9-10 years, etc.
So you believe Salman made that mistake?
Case, and then you come and then you say that no, somebody else was driving. It appears to be an afterthought. It appears to be a dishonest stand, which probably the learned judge has held. I am not very sure about it. This is one.
Okay.
And second instance, as you rightly said, about crushing of the man with the crane was also probably introduced at a belated stage, and therefore the court probably was disinclined to believe that. And maybe, because as we have not read the judgment, that should be the reason which may have annoyed the court and which may have made the court believe that here is a dishonest defense and the man does not deserve any leniency or any concessions.
Okay, dishonest defense. Just a minute, Mr. Memon. Mr. Memon, just a minute. Dishonest defense. What? No, just a minute, Siddharth. Dishonest defense. Is that an issue? Do you believe that the defense failed in a sense? Because the defense first said rash and negligent driving. Then they moved to culpable homicide not amounting to murder only after the High Court overruled them, or the Supreme Court overruled them. The fact is, there was no consistency in the defense that Salman Khan had in this case. Is that the reason that could influence a judge in deciding 5 years?
Sure, Rajdeep. I am also of the view, like my friend Mr. Majid Memon, that here the defense has been completely inconsistent, and not only that, you know, to have brought in the driver Ashok Singh to make a statement that I was driving and Salman Khan was not driving. I personally feel, although none of us have had the privilege of having read the judgment as yet, but I think that has been the most retrograde step and an ill-advised step on the part of the accused Salman Khan. Secondly, even that the body was crushed. You know, when the crane tried to, you know, lift the car, and the car fell down and crushed the body, and that is how ultimately the death was caused. You know, these kind of, I mean, sort of defenses, have the conduct been a little more just, fair, reasonable, and for the sake of arguments, even if you had said, okay, fine, I have sort of committed a mistake. In this kind of case, it is very difficult to escape conviction. But I am absolutely sure, if you had taken a little more fair stand, the sentence would have been far milder.
That's one point, Siddharth Luthra, but the fact is that at 12:30, just a minute, Siddharth Luthra, at 1:10, Salman Khan's verdict is pronounced, 5 years. He should have been taken straight to Arthur Road Jail. What happens? Within an hour of that, 2 hours of that, Harish Salve goes and argues in the court and he gets bail. Now, there would be those who would argue that in this case, Salman has been given an excessive sentence, but he's also been given bail much too quickly. How do you respond to that?
Rajdeep, it's a very simple thing, and I would compliment his legal team. This is not the first case this has happened. We as lawyers move the court at midnight, we move the court for ordinary citizens at various times of the day. We learn of a sentence in the morning, by 2 o'clock we're in court, and this is part of the legal system. The system permits it to happen. If people are not efficient in other cases, that should not be a cause, reason to say that the lawyers in this case were not efficient, and I must compliment, as I said, the legal team. The order, as I understand, has been passed, is absolutely within the four corners of the law, and the High Court has taken care, while granting interim bail, to give a 2 days time, so that in the meantime the state will also have adequate time to respond. And I would say that without seeing the order, I think it's a fair balancing of priorities by the High Court, and I don't think there's absolutely any reason to question the speed with which it has been done, except, as I said, to compliment the legal team, who had obviously planned in advance. Fearing an adverse judgment, they would have been ready. Otherwise, I'm sure they couldn't have moved so fast.
The other point, though, which Majid Memon is interesting, and I'm putting up the mistakes that Salman Khan made, but I'm also going to, and I've been trying to research this since morning, that in an average case, let's say a truck driver is involved in drunk driving and mows over one person, the maximum they tend to get is anything between 6 months to 1 year, is what my criminal lawyer friends tell me. To that extent, am I right in suggesting, or are Salman's friends right in suggesting that the 5-year sentence is excessive?
Rajdeep, that's because the 304A, the Rash and Negligent Act, or act causing death by rash and negligent acts or driving, is the offence which is punishable with a maximum of 2 years. In this case, it's gone up to the next grade, which is culpable homicide, and that is the reason the court has granted a larger sentence. Otherwise, it should not have been, it could have been a maximum of 2 years, and that's the reason truck drivers or other persons who are involved in a rash and negligent driving case causing death get a year and a half, or maybe 2 years.
So should Majid Memon, should Salman Khan in the first instance have been charged for rash and negligent driving and not for culpable homicide not amounting to murder, in your view?
Now, Rajdeep, that question is now not debatable for this reason, that he has faced the entire trial. He could have challenged. He could have gone up to Supreme Court and said that, well, this graver charge slapped on me in the facts and circumstances of the case is not legally tenable, and that probably he may have succeeded. That would have been a different story. But he has faced the trial for an offence which is punishable for 10 years, up to 10 years of sentence, and therefore today he cannot say, or you also cannot say, or I cannot say, that why he has been given more than 2 years when a truck driver could crush. As Luthra rightly said, that if you are charged for an offence for which a prescribed sentence has minimum or maximum in the code, then definitely you are to be dealt according to that. And in this case, since he was tried for an offence which is punishable to 10 years imprisonment, therefore he had to face this situation.
Yes, Vishwajit, yes, you want to...
In fact, Rajdeep, Bombay,
just a minute, the matter did go to the Supreme Court.
In fact, the matter went to the Bombay High Court, and Bombay High Court framed a charge under causing death by negligence under 304A. Then the matter went to the Supreme Court. Then the Supreme Court left it to the discretion of the magistrate to frame an appropriate charge, and then the magistrate committed it to the Sessions Court with 304 Part 2, which is culpable homicide, not amounting to murder.
No, but thereafter he did not go.
The point that I want to try and understand, is A, it takes 13 years. Isn't that ridiculously long? Because the lawyers, and good lawyers like you, Siddharth Luthra, or Majid Memon, or Vishwajit Bhattacharya, deliberately tried to delay this case. You took 10 years. You pushed the investigation for 10 years to decide whether it should be rash and negligent driving or whether it should be culpable homicide not amounting to murder. Do you concede that this period is too long? 13 years is much too long.
Rajdeep, it is definitely a tragedy.
One by one, please. One by one, please.
How much time they place witnesses in?
Yes, Siddharth,
Rajdeep,
first.
I just want to answer this. I think you're being a little unfair and harsh to members of the legal community.
Yes.
The fact of the matter is, witnesses are not produced by lawyers. Witnesses are never produced by the defense to start with. They're produced by the prosecution. If there are a large number of witnesses, it's a time taken to produce them. Trials will take long. The CRPC mandates trials on a day-to-day basis. Please, Check your sources. When was the last time it has been done, except let's say in 2G? Unfortunately, our system is overburdened and that doesn't happen, and it's not appropriate, I would say, to blame the defense. The prosecution takes its own time, and therefore there are systemic delays, and that is the reason why your trials take time and no other.
But I'm told that the prosecution, the manner in which the prosecution proceeded with the investigation was riddled with loopholes. The prosecution should have told me very clearly on day one who was driving the car. The prosecution should have been able to find out quickly enough whether Salman was under the influence of alcohol or not. All these were left in grey area. So Majid Memon, these are the loopholes that criminal lawyers like you exploit in a case like this, which is why perhaps it took so long.
No, see Rajdeep,
yes,
wherever there are weaknesses or infirmities in the investigation, the benefit is always extended to the accused, whether it is Salman Khan or any Tom, Dick and Harry. But that of course is unfortunate situation. You can't help it. It is prosecution that must improve its conduct, its performance, its homework, its honest and sincere approach towards the search of truth, and marshal the evidence properly, and then they would get good results. That is why we are having poor conviction rates. And the prosecutor personally, generally I am saying, not in this case, the prosecutor's ability, his competence, his efforts is no match, particularly as far as defense team is concerned. And affordable lawyers who are available in plenty.
That's exactly
people
it.
like Salman or somebody can hire the best of the lawyers. Definitely they would make use of and exploit all the weaknesses and loopholes in the defense trial and get the acquittal for him. That's why we have poor conviction rates.
That's exactly it. It's an unequal system. You have Salman who has a battery of the country's top lawyers, and the prosecution at the end of the day riddled with loopholes, which is why it's taken 13 years for us to reach this stage.
Rajdeep,
and now Salman will apply for bail and a suspended sentence tomorrow.
Rajdeep, it has taken 13 years because from first 12 years, 2002 to 2014, the fight was that basically Salman Khan was fighting under which appropriate provision he will be charged. It took 12 years, and it goes to the remarkable credit of Judge Deshpande that on 28th of April last year the trial actually started. So 28th April 2014 to 6th of May 2015 is just 1 year and 7 days flat.
Okay, I'm going to ask you for yes or no answers at the end. Yes or no, Siddharth Luthra, excessive, or do you believe he's received his due punishment? Yes or no? Quick answer.
I think it's on the higher side.
On the higher side. Majid Memon, excessive, or he's received his just deserts?
No, that is what the trial court's wisdom and assessment of the gravity of the crime, and he has come midway from 10 years to 5 years. So therefore, it appears reasonable at this juncture, but this is not final, Rajdeep. Tomorrow he may be acquitted by the High Court.
No, I take your point. I take your point, and I want to know from you, Bishwadit Bhattacharya, do you believe that Salman Khan's case, in a sense, it's not just about the sentence, it's also about compensation, and I'm going to come to that with the victims in a moment. Do you believe it's excessive, or do you believe he's received his just deserts?
Rajdeep, considering
excessive or just deserts?
I think it is not excessive. I think this kind of sentence was thrust upon the judge because of the conduct, the manner in which the whole trial has been conducted, the kind of stand which has been taken. I personally feel that Salman Khan has been ill-advised to, field the defense evidence of a sort of driver.
Right.
Number two, there is a serious loophole among the prosecution side also. The most important witness, Singer, who is a friend of Salman Khan, Kamal Khan, who was in the car, he was not examined as a witness. That raises a very serious question mark on the part of all concerned. The fingerprint in the steering, the wheel, was never taken by the prosecution. So these are questions mark which is bound to arise in the mind of the jury. At the end of the day, the perception of the judge is extremely important.
Okay. I've got a legal perspective to try and understand how this case proceeded legally. I appreciate all my 3 crack lawyers joining me here at the top of the news today at 9. Siddharth Luthra, Majid Memon and Bishwadit Bhattacharya, appreciate your joining us.